Guys, it's finally out. We finally saw Superman. James Gunn, I don't have anything funny to say. I'm just really excited.
I now truly believe a man can fly.
I know. Yeah, we got some heat for that one.
I didn't believe a man could fly in watching the first one, but now I really believe a man can fly.
I mean, yeah, CGI is a wonderful thing, isn't it? I still like that tagline it's a better marketing tool than a tagline, I think is the way to put it.
Tagline.
Like as a tagline for a movie. Weird, but as a like marketing tool, like a marketing strategy, that's a good marketing strategy. You know what I mean? Like that's a good marketing campaign. But as a tagline that goes on the poster,
I think it sucks for both.
No, I'll hold to that. I think like you market a movie off of like you'll believe a man can. Think of the trailers like the back then where they had the monologuing dude. I think it works for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not talking about the Christopher Reeve one. We did that before. You should listen to that episode. We're talking about James Gunn's Superman 2025.
Yeah.
Finally saw it. I've seen it 3 times.
I wanted to go a second time, but I haven't had an opportunity to go again.
Yeah. Go see this movie. Please.
Yeah.
Everyone go see this movie. Specifically people outside of the U.S. Go see this movie.
Do we want to have a non-spoiler conversation first and then jump into spoiler conversation?
We should have a brief non-spoiler conversation. I mean, by the time this comes out, we'll be past the second weekend.
Yeah.
Dating this, we're recording this going into its second theatrical weekend.
We're dating it? Oh.
Yeah. Have you seen David? No, but yeah, a brief spoiler conversation. I mean, we've talked a bunch throughout this podcast on various episodes about our anticipation for this movie.
Yep.
Our feelings on James Gunn, but I think we should cover that really quickly.
Yeah.
Gunn is a very specific director. He's a very specific filmmaker.
Yes.
Is James Gunn for you? What of his work haven't you seen? I'm not sure if you've seen much of his early stuff or not.
I don't think I've seen anything that isn't Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, and Suicide Squad.
And Suicide Squad, true.
Okay, gotcha.
And those are, Suicide Squad or the Suicide Squad.
Yes,
the
it's very clear.
Capital THEE.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, and Guardians of the Galaxy have a pretty similar like tone.
Yeah.
And have pretty similar like themes and things. And so when it was announced that James Gunn was going to be directing Superman, I was very interested in that. I don't think I was ever like fully worried about it, but at the same time, like the Superman as it is very, very different from those. And so from that perspective, I had some reticence. And then the images were coming out, the trailers were coming out, and I was excited, but I wasn't like frothing at the mouth for it. And then like as we got closer and closer and closer and more marketing hit me, it all worked more and more and more. And by the time, it was the week of, I was very, very, very excited. But as far as James Gunn as a filmmaker, I definitely think it is. Look, he's the one making the choice, more or less, since he's the head of.
He's also
DC.
the CEO of co-CEO of DC Studios. Yeah,
right. And so, like, from that perspective, like, it makes sense that he would put himself in the director's chair. But from like what I know of, like from his previous films too. Again, like this is all of them are very like winking, jokey. Look, they have pathos, they have emotion.
I think the humor is part of what gives it pathos,
Yeah.
But those movies are also about a band of misfits, not just like one outsider. It's about a group of people who none of them belong. You know what I mean?
And usually they're all assholes.
Yeah.
Like
yes.
Like usually they're all assholes. Like even Super was that the one with
Rainn Wilson? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, isn't he like an asshole too? You know what I mean? Like, aren't they
more or
all
less?
All of his characters kind of they're like lovable assholes.
Yeah.
But they're all assholes. And like one thing Superman is not is an asshole.
Yep.
So I thought that was an interesting, again, like, so I had some minor worries. I knew, he's a competent filmmaker, and I really do love the Suicide Squad, and I love a lot about most of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And so I was cautiously optimistic about him taking the director's chair and writing it as well.
Yeah, well, it's kind of I think you've seen all of James Gunn's directorial like feature movies. I've seen one or two of his shorts, I'm sure, somewhere. But yeah, I've seen Slither, which is really fun. I've seen Super, which is really fun. The thing that I love about James Gunn is you can track his evolution as a director from movie to movie. Like, right, specifically starting at Guardians. Like, Guardians comes out, it's very much got a style, got a tone, got an idea. Guardians 2, he experiments with kicking all of that up a notch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he really sends it all.
For better and worse.
For better and worse, yes. Like, visually speaking, way more colorful, way more bombastic. Humor got a little out of hand on that one. In between Guardians 2 and 3, he's fired for a stretch, does the Suicide Squad, completely changes as a director. He's using the camera in ways he's never used before. He's flipping it, moving it, throwing it around, playing with structure, playing with ideas, jumping into the villain's world in ways that I think are all really interesting. And so the thing that really made me notice it is going from that to Guardians 3, where Guardians 3 is way more like the Suicide Squad than the previous two Guardians movies. At least like from a filmmaking level.
Yeah.
In really interesting ways, but he brings a lot more like awe and wonder to it than the Suicide Squad had. I was a little nervous about the Superman decision because I thought, I was like, okay, I think he can write a Superman movie and then another director needs to do it, because that was the original plan. When all this was announced, he said he was writing the Superman movie, he was not directing it. And then that kind of evolved, I think, as the script got finished. Like, I think in the middle of it, he was like, I don't think I'll direct this. And then he realized he could. All he had to do was kind of give up doing all of Peacemaker because they filmed simultaneously. Anyway, that's how the narrative of it goes. He no longer directed. But then as we got closer, every piece of marketing worked on me profoundly. I was super into it from the only thing I didn't love was the first image they released, like the first official look at his suit. There's so many other like random set photos or just pictures of him doing test footage stuff where you're like, that should have been your first look.
Yeah.
The picture of him in Crypto sitting on the moon looking at Earth, that should have been your first look, where you just see his cape. Yeah. It's like there's so many of those where it's like, this gives the tone of this movie so much more than that first image. But yeah, it's a fascinating thing to watch James Gunn like evolve like this. I'm super interested in what he does next, because the next thing he's directed will be Peacemaker. He did like 2 episodes of that. For season 2, he was originally going to direct all of it, and then the DC job came up and he took that and did Superman. But he's teased a little bit of what his next project will be, and I'm curious what that's going to end up looking like. But as far as this movie goes, how did it play for you?
Incredibly well.
Yeah.
Like from the jump, I was really in, man. Like, yeah. I think this movie, it sets itself up really well. And I think a lot of the issues I've had with his scripting, and less so his directing. I don't really necessarily, any of my issues have been from a directing standpoint. It's usually like from the script. Mm-hmm. All of those were like, if they were present, they weren't an issue. And like, you know, I don't know, man, like this movie, I was very, very charmed by it. I think it is, I don't think it's absolutely perfect from beginning to end, but I think, it is the best Superman movie we've had in decades.
Yeah. Literally since the first Christopher Reeve one, the best one we've had.
And you could make the argument that this one is better in a lot of ways.
To be honest, I think for me it might be. Now, it's early. I've seen it 3 times, but it's only been a week or so. It's like it's going to have to sit with me for way longer in the way that one has. Yeah. There's just such a take on Superman for this one, wherein the Christopher Reeve one, we talked a lot about how it's like perfect Silver Age. It's perfect for the character for the time. This one really takes... I mean, look... I don't think Superman has ever been outdated, but I think Superman is old-fashioned. And I think this really does a good job of redefining him for a new generation. I mean, they play a lot. We'll discuss this a bunch, but they play a lot with the idea of like punk rock, and like he is kind of the punk rock Superman. But what punk rock actually is, which is empathy and kindness, and social fighting for social justice and things like that's what punk rock has always been. It's just like sad and rock and roll and stuff. I don't know. This one really worked for me. I love its opening. It's very comic booky. I have described it to people who asked, like, hey, what do I need to know going into this? And I basically, when Guardians 3 came out, I said, this is a goodbye, not an ending. Because it feels like we're not leaving them all at a point of it's over. We're leaving them all at a point of they're just going to keep existing, but this particular team, this particular tone is done. And I love that. I think that's a really interesting way for these comic book movies to end, where you have all the catharsis of an ending, but you still feel like, oh, I would follow them again. This movie feels like a hello, not a beginning, right? This is the beginning of the DCU, but it's dropping you in the middle of the action, both literally and figuratively. Yeah. You are, this is no surprise. This is not a spoiler. It's been very much marketed. He's been Superman for a little bit. And then throughout this movie, we learn about all of the implied history with all of the characters around him, all of the other things. And it does not really explain any of it outside of the opening minutes of the movie. Yeah. Yes, he'll give a few pieces of exposition here and there, but it really doesn't feel like exposition because of how they have framed it in the story. Yeah. They're not doing an origin. They're not going a bubble, whatever. They're just giving you the information for the like, as James Gunn put it, for the 3 people who don't know Superman's origin, we're going to give you enough that you can get by. Yeah. We're not going to sit there and show you all of it. And the other thing that I really love is this movie's about something, man. And we'll get into that. This movie is the first blockbuster to do something really big and really crazy. That all movies should be way more inclined to do. Yeah. But yeah, this movie feels special. Like, even I had a cousin go and see it, and she is not the biggest movie person. She likes superhero stuff. She sees a lot of the superhero things, but I wouldn't say she like keeps up with it all. Yeah. And she came out of it and essentially said, oh, this is how superhero movies are going to be for the next 10 years. They're going to have this kind of feel to them. And I could not agree more. I think this is the template for moving forward, for what superheroes are going to be like. Yeah. And I think that's a great thing. I think this movie really works, and it really makes me excited to see what's next. Not necessarily where we're going, but what's next. Yeah. That's the part that I can't wait for. Yeah. But yeah, any other thoughts on just the initial movie before should we jump into spoilers now? I don't know.
Yeah, let's just jump right in. I think our takes have been fully unspoiler given.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna for the TikTok, I'm gonna post this. Every TikTok from this point on is a spoiler. So I'm gonna clip this and put it in front of all of them. Anyway, so jumping into the movie, I just want to start at the beginning. How did you feel about the text at the beginning?
Loved it.
I thought it was awesome.
I loved it.
It was so surprising. It like immediately knocked me off my like what I thought the rhythm of the movie was going to be in just the right way.
Yeah. I thought it was structured well. Like 3 centuries ago, 3 decades ago, 3 years ago, 3 hours ago, 3 minutes ago.
The best part about that is like you realize that 3 months is the missing component until you realize that's when he started dating Lois.
No, really?
Yeah, I don't know if that's like intentional, but yeah, he was like 3 months ago we had our first date.
Oh, I love that.
It's just funny that it does fit in. It's really kind of sweet.
That's great. Yeah, like that totally worked on me. I think it's Superman. We know who Superman is. You know what I mean?
We know but it also not just exposition, it just sets a good tone where it's like it really can throw you into the middle of the plot just by going 3 minutes ago he lost his first battle. Yeah. Okay, what does that mean? Right? And then plopping our hero, the Man of Steel, the Man of Tomorrow, like this guy that's indestructible in every version he's ever existed in, bloodied and beaten in the snow, needing help. Yeah. That is character deconstruction in such a great way. I think that's a really, really great idea. Yeah. And I love that opening. The Fortress of Solitude is great.
Oh, it's so good.
It kind of like I read a tweet after they released that for the first time, that like special look, and it was from Scott Snyder, great comic book artist, and he put it. He's like, Isn't that something? And I was like, isn't that something? Like, that's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah.
Did you have the Jarrell actor spoiled?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. I had it spoiled
Yeah.
like a month and a half before it came out. I think some test screenings, somebody leaked it.
Yeah. It was like the day before I went and saw it.
Yeah. It's like, look, it's fine. That plays a big part in the plot, but there's not much screen time dedicated to it.
I knew we're in spoiler territory, so I knew Bradley Cooper was in it.
Yes.
I did not realize he was Jor-El.
Yeah.
But it's also in the first 2 minutes of the movie. So
Yeah, first 2 minutes, and we see him like once or twice past
Yeah.
that. It's my theory is that Bradley Cooper really didn't want to be in any more superhero movies, so he
Yeah.
agreed to do this so they can't cast him in anything else.
I love that.
Well, also, I think Gunn is smart for putting somebody like Bradley Cooper in that, because if you look at the pedigree of people who have played Jor-El, it's Marlon Brando, it's Russell Crowe, it's a few other like really famous names in various versions of it. It's like, yeah, you kind of need a guy with some gravitas and some name quality to him.
Yeah.
For that role. And then I can't remember her name, but she's from Westworld, and she plays Clementine in Westworld. She's really great.
Yeah, she's in a bunch of stuff.
As his mom. Yeah, she's awesome. That was fun to see her in it. But yeah, so how did that storyline work for you?
I was going to ask you that very same question.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
as a very like loose Superman fan, I haven't actually read any of the comics. I know of the, larger canon, that kind of thing. What did you think of that storyline with Jor-El?
I have been super into Smallville, and that is the angle Smallville takes for the Kryptonians and for Jor-El. For like eventually they kind of shifted and changed it.
Retcon it a little bit.
Not necessarily retcon, but retcon it for all intents and purposes. So I've been really into that, and so I was super ready for them to do something like that. Much like the Batman, Matt Reeves' Batman, made the Waynes a little bit darker than they typically are held. Now there's more comic basis for that. There's not zero comic base for the Jor-El and Krypton being pretty evil. Not necessarily evil, but like selfish, I should say.
Yeah.
They're not sending him benevolently. They're sending him to preserve their species.
Yeah.
There's more comic book basis for that too, but not as much. I kind of called it as soon as they're like, the message is damaged. I was like, okay, so they're gonna be bad in the second part of the message. But as a storytelling device, and as this movie, which this movie's very much, like we said, is very much about things, it thematically works perfectly, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, it's comes to that Pa Kent scene, which we'll get to, which left me in absolute tears every time I've watched it.
Yeah.
It plays into that. It's like the 1-2 hand of it. I think it works brilliantly, right? Like, this movie's so about you are your choices, your actions. They literally say it. It's not a subtle movie, but it doesn't need to be. It shouldn't be in a lot of ways.
It's like we're dealing in the world of like Greek mythology almost. You know what I mean? Like, is Homer's Odyssey subtle? No, it doesn't.
But
have
it's
to
so
be
much.
subtle.
But it takes all the human side of all of those stories. I think in a way that like I think that's where Zack Snyder missed the point. Look, and I like Zack Snyder. I have enjoyed his various DC projects to different levels. Like I'm really glad the Snyder Cut was released. I actually think that's a pretty interesting movie.
Yeah.
Man of Steel is not necessarily for me, but I think some of his directing choices are really fun and cool for it.
Yeah.
I like Henry Cavill as Superman. None of what happened to him is fair, and I don't think anyone would say it was fair.
Yeah.
James Gunn actually talked about that in an interview recently, that was not... He signed... The day they announced he was coming back as Superman is the day James Gunn and Peter Safran signed the deal. And they didn't know about that. They were like... So they met with him in person, and like they did the right thing, and we're just like, hey, we're not... No, it sucks. They feel really bad about that. But Zack Snyder aside, he takes them as Greek gods. Even Batman, he takes as a Greek god, and he films them as such. And all the iconography and all the stories are about that. And I just don't think that's as interesting to me as starting our hero having been beaten, and having to have him come back from that and have the whole movie him having to face one thing after another, very literally and very overtly. I think that's where this movie's at its best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think the Jor-El part works perfectly, and I don't know. Did it throw you for a loop, or did did it just kind of, you're like, okay, I'm taking this as what it is and moving on?
I was half expecting it to be like a, what's the freaking Lex Luthor like mistranslated it and made it seem like it wasn't that, and then later in the movie they'd be like, no, it actually is more somewhere in the middle. It's like, no, they're like, no, they said that shit. They like double, triple down on that.
They really do.
It was like, no, I know those dudes. They don't get that wrong. They know. I was like, all right, okay. Yeah. Like they really want to get across, like, no, this is what this is. This is what this means. So I was surprised by that from like not really having like that level of knowledge of some of the other stories that like where that is the choice. All of the ones that I've seen or all the ones that I know about are very much like, no, he's a good dude who only wants the best for his son and for the universe. And, so from that perspective, I was like surprised. I wasn't expecting that. Like the fact that they made it seem like he was a bad guy, I was like, that's a good choice. But then the fact that they kept it that way, I was like, that was not what I was expecting. That being said, I do think it works.
It's a big creative swing. You know what I mean? Like, and that is something I really like. I think there hasn't been a comic book movie this is going to sound crazy because of how big and blockbustery this movie is. There hasn't been a superhero, a cape movie this artistic since the Batman. You know what I mean? Like where it is big, it has things to say, it takes a lot of swings. I mean, this movie has a 12-minute conversation in the middle of it. Just people talking. He's not even wearing the costume. He's just him and Lois having a conversation, and it's one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it really lets itself play visually, it lets itself play with its music. Speaking of which, that's a good next point. Did you like the score? Because this is very different for Gunn. He's very much he has score in his movies. He has original scores. The Guardians movies have those. The Suicide Squad has that. But he's very much a needle drop guy.
I mean, there are several needle drops throughout the movie.
Oh, for sure. But they use them at very, very key. There's only really two big ones. Mm-hmm. They use them at very key moments. And most of this movie is score.
Yeah.
Which is very different. And I really loved their rendition of the John Williams theme. For me, it worked so well.
I'll be honest, I did not think about it once while I was watching the movie. I was just
really?
I was just like in it, you know what I mean? So I did not think about the score one single time.
You should go listen to it. Like I've been listening to the soundtrack a bunch. It rules. It's really good. It's just like it's the same thing as all the punk rock stuff in this movie. It's just kind of the rock and roll version of the John Williams the John Williams theme with a bunch of its own little melodies and motifs throughout in ways that I really like. All right, so the music. Oh, one thing on the music. I found out today that there was almost an Idols song in this movie. He did not say which one. I'm sure he will at some point, but he said in the editing bay they put it over a flying sequence, and he just said it was too short of a moment to make the song have any real effect, so they stuck with score. But I found that out literally like 30 minutes before we started recording.
Fascinated to know which one. I'll have to go listen through and see what I would think would be the choice.
I know, but wouldn't that have been awesome? Because it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Thematically and stuff. Okay, the next big thing we should talk about, Crypto the Super Dog.
Yeah.
Thoughts, feelings, did he work? Did he overstay his welcome?
Everybody who says he overstayed his welcome hates fun and love and cool things. Yeah. It's like, look, if I, on a second or third watch, maybe I'll start to feel that. But damn it, that dog is so sweet and cute and lovable and mean and shitty dog. But
to be honest, for me. It works for, I've seen it, like I said, seen it 3 times. It works for me all the time. Like, I think maybe, sure, there's maybe like a joke or two in there where you're like, oh, you could have, shortened this or done a different joke. Because a lot of the jokes, but they do. The dog has plot reasons to be in the movie and thematic reasons to be in the movie. I mean, one of on our second viewing, the people next to us, it was like a group of like high school age girls. They, during that scene where she's like, it's just a dog, and he's like, yeah, not even a very good one, but he's out there, he's alone, and probably scared. You know what I mean? Like, that sums up so much of who this Superman is to me, like, perfectly. That scene in general does, one of my favorite scenes in the movie. But the people next to us literally went, yeah, but it's just a dog. After Lois said it and he said his line, I was like, you've missed the point entirely. Did you miss the part where he saved a squirrel?
Yeah.
There's no distinguishing between life for this Superman. All of it is worthwhile. All of it is beneficial. And yes, I think this Superman would probably kill if it was 100% absolutely necessary, but it would destroy him as a human being.
Yeah.
Like it would be the hardest decision he's ever made. Yeah, I don't know. Krypto had reasons to be in this movie far beyond just like, he's not
Krypto's
an industry
a character.
plant. He's a character. He's a huge personality. Like I said, affects the plot, affects the themes. He's important to this movie.
Yeah.
It's not like I saw Jurassic World Rebirth because I see everything and I can't stop myself. But there's like a little dinosaur in that movie that is just an industry plant. It's just like, we put this in here to sell toys, and you're like, this sucks. Krypto's not that. Yes, Krypto's going to sell a lot of toys. But you know what else Krypto has done? Dog adoption agencies have seen like a 580 some odd % increase in searches since this movie came out.
Yeah.
So like actual real world good from having this wonderful naughty little boy in the movie. I don't know. I think I like Krypto. And the CGI is like pretty much perfect. Like there's
it looks really, really good. There are times where it's like, you can kind of see a little bit, but like it's great. Like I don't know,
and it's a lot more in the moments when he's doing something a dog can't literally do, where you're like, okay, that's when he's just being a puppy. It's like, oh, that's pretty damn great.
That's a dog.
Like, yeah, that's a dog.
Yeah.
Okay. Other things. Is there anything you want to cover before I keep just listing off things?
So the twist.
The Ultraman one?
Yeah.
I knew. That's very comic
okay.
booky. Yeah, it's Ultraman's been a few different things in the comics over the years. Like I know certain versions he's like a bad alternate universe Superman. And then I think more modern, he is a clone of Superman that Lex makes. Is that something that you would expect them to do in the first iteration of a new DCU Superman? No. It is not, unless he comes back as Bizarro at some point, and then I'm like, okay, then it makes sense. You have to set him up, and then he can come back. No, it was not. It was when they announced Ultraman, and I was like, wait, isn't I was surprised. It is not what I expected them to do. Did you? You didn't have that spoiled at all?
No, I saw something that alluded to it, but I didn't know what it meant, so I was just like...
I kind of thought the more fun version, and this would have been distracting, so I'm glad they didn't do it, but I was like, what if they cast Henry Cavill as Ultraman? There's a better role for Henry Cavill out there in these movies, specifically Apollo, in whatever the Authority project ends up being. That should be what they do. I think that'd be really cool. Apollo is like... the Authority's version of Superman. Authority is a commentary on the Justice League, and Apollo is the Superman of that world.
Yeah.
There's also a character named Midnighter who is the Batman, and they're in a relationship. And I was like, that would be a really cool version for him to play.
Yeah.
Because I think it suits Henry Cavill way more, especially like now than Superman would.
Yeah.
Anyway, it worked fine for me. It kind of just came and went. Like it was another weird insult and dehumanizing thing for Lex to do to Superman, which I thought was like a good choice. But yeah, I have no hard or fast opinion on that.
Yeah. I thought it was I was like, again, it feels like something that they would do in Superman 2 or Superman 3, not in Superman 1. Like that felt like and I am thankful that he didn't have to fucking snap his neck like Zod in Man of Steel. So like, I'm thankful that it didn't have to go that route with it, because like it could have,
Yeah. Instead, he just gets blasted off to some other universe. And a thing I like about this movie is they're not just like the Marvel kind of thing is they kill all their villains. It's like, no, this one, he's still out there. He could come back and they could do something interesting with him and with Lex. And
Lex Luthor's going to Belle Reve, which feels
like
it feels like the Joker going to
Arkham.
Going to Arkham. It's like, that's not a place where you hold the Joker. Like, there was another thing I was trying to think of that like I wanted to get your thought on. I can't remember. Go on. You list off more things.
I want to talk about the scene where like this movie went from, oh, I'm really enjoying this, to oh damn, I think I'm gonna cry now, and I was not thinking I would. And that is the Superman comes back and talks to Lois, and she makes him cocoa.
Yeah.
Before he get that conversation's really good. Like, it's really well written, and
It's incredibly well written. Yeah, that and the movie, other conversation with Lois are so well written.
This is the first James Gunn movie where I really think he allowed himself to have really quiet little moments where they're doing very little with even the like ambient noise. Like, it's really just like a conversation. There's going to be pauses. There's going to be awkward beats. There's going to be peaks and like highs and lows. There's going to be points where it's not funny. There's going to be points where it's funny. They feel like a couple, you know what I mean? Like in a really interesting, or a couple still figuring each other out. But that moment when she's like, you think everything and everyone is like beautiful. And he just has this beat and he goes, maybe that's the real punk rock. Dude, it hit me like a wave. Like, I literally went, oh, and then I just started crying. Like, it every time I've seen it, it's hit me where it just was like, oh man, that really is this Superman. Yeah. That is what this has all been about, is like, you know, kindness is the new punk rock has kind of been the rallying cry for people, which that's kind of always what punk rock has been about. Like I said, about empathy and fighting the man and like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this movie's themes are gentleness, kindness, empathy for your fellow man, under any circumstances. You know, wrong is like, killing is wrong. We don't do that. Starting a war is wrong. Don't do that. That scene just encapsulates the whole movie for me. Like, it encapsulates the struggle and the theme in the most overt way, but in the most beautiful way. Just the way Corn Sweat delivers these lines better than any actor I could even imagine. These like, his speech at the end is so on the nose and like verging on cheesy. Every word of it is delivered with such authenticity. Corn Sweat really just takes this role and delivers in every possible level of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so impressed. But that scene just floored me. I was like, oh, wow. And then following it up immediately with not even a very good one, but he's out there and he's alone. He's probably scared. It's like, dude, this movie understands Superman.
Yeah. I think this movie understands Superman, and it also understands Lex Luthor. Like, this really is such a really great take on Lex Luthor. Like, instead of whatever the hell Jesse Eisenberg was, like, and no shade on Jesse Eisenberg. It's not his fault.
He was just miscast. He should
and poorly written. Like,
he would have been a great Riddler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he was channeling Jim Carrey from the '90s Batman movie for some reason instead of Lex Luthor.
I think this movie like does such a good job of like, nah, man, he's just like the number one biggest hater.
Yeah.
Like, he's just jealous. Like, he's just like, he's just a sack of shit. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't like and Nicholas Holt's performance as Lex Luthor is genuinely phenomenal.
I'm not convinced he was performing, because do you know the saga that got him here?
Yeah.
Just for anyone who doesn't know, he was gonna be in Top Gun Maverick, and it just didn't work out. But Tom Cruise loved him so much that he was going to put him in Mission Impossible 7. Scheduling conflicts didn't work out. He was the runner-up for The Batman, to play Batman. Lost out to Robert Pattinson. Then he auditions for Superman and loses out to David Cornsweet, and then gets cast as Lex Luthor. That man, kudos to him. I would be a real-life supervillain at that point.
Yeah.
If I missed out on all of those particular movies, whoa. Like... Yeah, he's phenomenal in this movie.
He's so well cast. Like, he's putting it. He is putting that. He's putting it all out there, man. Like, he's not leaving anything. He's not leaving any paint on the palette.
I mean, his monologue on how he feels envy is great. Like, again, it's like, it should be corny, but because it's delivered with such honesty, just works.
And that's Lex Luthor. Like, that is capital L Lex Luthor. In a way that like other iterations don't fully get, or don't fully, maybe not don't fully get, but don't fully vocalize, don't fully show. Like,
beat around the bush a little too much. You know what I mean? Like, Breck and I's favorite thing about this Lex Luthor is so there's a version of Lex Luthor where Superboy is a clone of Superman and Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor uses his DNA to fill in the genetic gaps in Superman's DNA. So he essentially baby traps Superman. And this is the first Lex Luthor that I was like, I believe it. I believe this guy would baby trap Superman.
He would do that. He would do that.
So we're all about him. I cannot wait to see what they do with him because I feel like you could fit him in so many places.
Yeah.
And I just want to watch him on screen more. Like he's so
Yeah.
great. This movie is so overstuffed with things and all of it works. Like, you know what
I think a criticism that has been levied at this movie that I just completely disagree with is that some people have said like, oh, it feels like it's setting up like 8 different properties. And I was like, I don't agree at all. It genuinely doesn't feel like they're setting up a Justice Gang movie. It doesn't feel like they're setting up Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. It doesn't feel like they're setting up a hot girl show.
Yep.
Like, I feel like it was like in the way that the comics do of like, all right, well, we need this kind of thing to fill this kind of role. Like, I
who's
think
a fun character we could throw in for an issue who will be on all of 4 pages. You know what I mean? Like,
and that, like a crowd pleaser. It feels like it's a crowd pleasing choice as opposed to like a universe setup choice.
Well, and also there's plot reasons. They need a super team in this movie. So
Yeah.
when they have to go to Jarampur,
Yeah.
they have a team to go. Like there's
Yeah.
a plot reason for them to be in this movie. They have multiple scenes with actual characters in this movie. It doesn't feel like it was reshot. Like the one that you can levy that against a little bit is Supergirl.
Yeah.
And still the Supergirl scene works for me because it just really shows like, oh no, this is a bigger world. Like that's all it's showing. They've announced this, the Supergirl movie's finished filming by like months at this point.
Yeah.
We've all known that's coming.
Yeah.
It just feels like, why wouldn't you put her in here? She's his cousin. You can drop her in and really show that like this is the other side of what these people can be. You can show there's some concern for him. You can show that he has family out there. Like it doesn't feel like it's like, oh, now Supergirl's the thing. Because what is the plot of the Supergirl movie? Do you know? It's not going, we're going to go follow Supergirl on this. No, she comes back from a planet drunk, and so you can assume she's going to be a little messy.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that the general audience would know that movie's going to be.
It's also the last like 45 seconds of the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the criticism that people. I think it's like I think it's their issue with like feeling as if the Justice Gang and Guy Gardner and all them, if that is like them setting up a Justice Gang show, and it just really is. It really super doesn't feel like that.
I know.
It feels like at the most cynical look at it is like, if anybody really likes any of these characters that much, we'll make a show out of them.
Yeah.
And so like you'll get a Mr. Terrific like show because of this, or movie, or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah.
Because that character is so good and cool. And what's his name?
Guy Gardner?
No. The actor who plays Mr. Terrific.
Oh,
Eddie Gathegi. Eddie Gathegi.
I think so. He's great, by the way. Like in other
phenomenal.
stuff, in this, he's awesome.
It's like we finally get justice for him in
X-Men First Class.
X-Men First Class.
As
he's
Darwin.
Like, as Darwin, which is like a cool character that they absolutely ruin.
Yeah.
And he rips. He rules. He's very good in this. And I'm excited to see more of that character. But not in a way of like, it felt like they were shoving it in so as to set up more stuff. Like the only thing that is Supergirl, but like
it still works.
It still works. It's still Superman. Like it's not like they're shoving Supergirl into the Mr. Terrific show. They're shoving Supergirl into Superman. Like and it's not even shoving. I don't know, man. It felt so benign in a way that so many of the other like Marvel movies are not benign at all.
No. You can tell it's a reshoot. You can tell they just put it in there to sell a toy and get a new thing up and running faster.
Yes.
Whack. You know what I mean? And trust me, I agree. That's why I say this movie feels like a hello, not a beginning. It feels like we're just jumping in and Superman already knows these people and we're not going to explain it. And who knows which of them we'll see when. They're just in this movie because they serve a plot function and a thematic function. Specifically, Mr. Terrific, who's like the biggest of those characters, as he should be because he ruled in this movie. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that's such a kind of a whack criticism for this. It doesn't make much sense to me.
The only criticism that I've heard that I like agree with to a certain extent is when they go into the like alternate universe.
The pocket dimension.
Pocket dimension. And it just kind of like specifically like the fight scene and stuff, like they just don't like look as good, and like I just don't like fully understand why he can't do certain things, and like I don't know. That's the only part that I was like, all right, let's get him out of here. Let's go back to the movie I liked.
To me, with that sequence, it's probably my least favorite sequence in the movie, and yet I still like it because he's saving a baby, and he's like, like all that still works. But it gives me that shot where he's holding on to the baby, he's holding on to Crypto, and he's like getting them out of the black hole in that wide shot from behind him. It looks so cool. That looks like a comic book splash page if I've ever seen one, in a way that I think is awesome. Like that moment is worth it to me, because it really does feel like he's like, this is a guy who's not going to give up. Like it shows he's not going to give up, and he's also going to take the hits to save the baby. You know what I mean? He's going to sit there and get pounded on because he can't fight back properly because he has to protect somebody instead. I think that's interesting. And the idea of a pocket dimension, I also really enjoy. Like, again, that's comic booky. And like really structuring that, like Mr. Terrific says, like it's dangerous science, and Lex Luthor does this all the time, and like it sets those things up. And I think there's characters, but I do agree it's the part of the movie that looks kind of the worst. Specifically the fight. I think when they're in the little cages, it looks fine. I think it looks kind of fun
works
and
for
cool.
me. Yeah, like I think that's cool. The fucking creepy ass. The scariest character design of anything ever.
Mr. Handsome?
Mr. Handsome.
So in the scene where Superman goes and like throws Lex's desk, Mr. Handsome is framed on Lex's desk.
Gross.
Like a picture of his face. Come on, that's kind of fun. Like,
no, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I think it's funny, but gross. That
Mr.
is like
Handsome
literally
is
the only section of that movie where I was like, all right, let's go back.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Yeah,
let's put him back in the sun. Like he needs.
We did
yellow sun.
We did get Metamorpho, which made me really happy.
Ruled, and everything they did with Metamorpho I thought was really cool. Like him like building the sun was really cool. That was a great moment. And it's like just once they get out of the cages, and then like again like the ending moment of him like that wide shot, that splash page. I completely agree. This movie is really, really good at doing that without making it doing the Zack Snyder thing of like, no, this is Jesus.
Yeah,
Jesus.
This has three in one movie. Has three of the best shots in any superhero movie ever. And we can talk about which ones. I hard stop. I will fight on that hill because there are three shots in this where I was like, my jaw dropped. I was like, oh, dude.
But what about the Incredible Hulk? You're not thinking about the shot from the Incredible Hulk.
You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But funny enough, a shot that I really haven't stopped thinking about is that shot of Metamorpho walking off into the dark with baby Joey.
Right.
And how it looks like a monster movie, but it's like so empathetic and kind.
Yeah.
I really want Metamorpho to come back. I'm a huge Anthony Carrigan fan. He is an unbelievable actor. He's so good in Barry.
Yeah.
I genuinely love him so much. So when he got cast as Metamorpho, I was excited. And again, it's a character I like how they use. They just show him. They don't really explain. They give the basest explanation of his powers. I don't know what the deal with his son is. I don't know who that woman he is with later for that one shot. But all I know is he's a monster who's been mistreated, who still is a good person. And that tells me everything I need to know to become invested enough to want to know more.
Yeah.
I love Metamorpho. I think he's a super fun, weird character, which is what James Gunn does best, is using these strange little, these freaks, these outcasts of society, and giving them empathy. I am really excited about Hawkgirl. I'm really excited about Guy Gardner. I'm really excited about Terrific and Metamorpho and all these people. Like I'm pumped about that. How'd you like the Daily Planet?
I liked basically all of it. I have heard journalists talk about the journalism in the movie, and they're like, I'm so glad this is in the movie. I'm so glad that journalists are the good guys and they're doing journalism, and that helps win the movie. but it's so wrong. Like how they go about doing it is so wrong. Like, but I like that's such a that is a thing that only journalists would know and care about. Like they were talking about it. Like, I love it. I'm glad they did it. It's wrong. I don't care. It's funny.
Yeah.
And they
again,
were like,
we're playing in super overt world. You know what I mean? It's not going to be all the president's men. It's not going to be you know, like it's funny. That's a funny complaint. I don't disagree because
it's not even a complaint. It's just them like, wow, the journalism is so weird how they do it, but I'm glad that the journalists are the good guys in this movie.
And they very much are. You know what I mean? Like as they should be. Yeah. Let's talk about Ma and Pa Kent real quick, and then we'll get into the heavier part of this conversation, which is the real world implications. Yeah. Ma and Pa Kent. Dude, I fell in love with these people so fast.
They're the first people that I've ever believed are actually from Kansas.
Yep. And again, I've talked about this a bunch, I'm sure, on the podcast in some episode, but I love that they portray them as like actual farmers. Like their house is literally a converted double wide trailer. That's what their house is. I love that. Superman had modest beginnings. Yes, he has this land and stuff, but farmers are famously not wealthy people. His parents are really just, you know, they're simple. They're very like, Ma Kent doesn't know how to use technology, and neither does Clark, really. Yeah. And Pa Kent doesn't really know how to express himself. You can kind of tell that's been a part of their relationship. So when he does express himself in that scene, it hits you so damn hard. But it's the scene in the bedroom too when he's like, "Is our boy gonna be okay?"
I just got chills you saying that.
I know, right? And then Lois says yes, Mr. Terrific says yes, and Martha's just, she's just like, "Oh, don't mind him. He's a big old mush," especially when it comes to Clark. And I was like, I'm gonna start crying now. Like,
that made me cry.
It made me cry. Make no mistake. And then you get the few things in between, some of the plot stuff, some of the other, and then that scene outside where he's just sitting there in a detail that I love, which is, his sweatpants are too short for him. Because they're probably just from when he was in high school or whatever, or middle, whatever. I love that detail. It's super fun and little, but the dad coming out and just kind of saying some benign stuff about like, "Oh, you remember this thing," reminding us he's from here. He has a history here without having to go into all this detail about it. Yeah. But it is that moment when he's just like, "You don't seem like yourself." Everything Pa Kent says in there makes me sob. Like again, it's so simple. He's not saying anything overtly profound or that none of us have ever heard before, but it's his delivery and the way his eyes dart back and forth, just scanning his son, taking his son in. Yeah. It's like the way he chokes up at, "I'm so proud of you." Yeah. Dude, I can't believe that. Like, I like him. He was in The Walking Dead for an episode or two. So when they cast him, I was like, that's a really interesting choice. Yeah. And then he's exactly perfect for this role.
I mean, I appreciate that it isn't freaking like some gorgeous...
They're not movie stars. They don't have movie star face.
Yeah, exactly. They're
just
like
character actors. Like,
they look like they look and sound and act and feel like they're actually from Kansas. Like they're not, you know, and not to just besmirch everybody who's played these characters before.
No, we've had great portrayals.
But yeah, they just feel so much more real. Yeah. And like, that it is handled so well. I love it so much.
You meet them and you understand why this Superman goes, "Good gosh," and "What the hey?"
Yeah.
Like
what the hey, like, dude?
What the hey, dude? You understand immediately who raised him, and like this Superman feels like he was raised by old people in all the best ways.
Yes.
Because he was. There's a line at the end. And it's really quick in there when Superman's watching the slideshow of his family videos, which is, by the way, another moment that made me sob uncontrollably.
Yeah, that fully made me cry.
I was like, oh, okay. And I knew as soon as Gary was like, "Would you like us to play the messages or whatever?" I knew what they were doing and it worked. It killed me. But there's a moment, it's when Pa Kent is holding like baby Clark, and he's seeing everything for the first time.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, I'm going to need 10 minutes after this ends just to sit here and kind of be in my feelings. Beautiful beautifully handled the Kents. I love them so much. I want a whole mini series where they just go to get tacos with their friends.
Hell yeah. They go get freaking burritos.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else on anything before we get into kind of the slightly heavier, not even slightly heavier, the heavier side of this movie?
Well, Superman's woke now.
Superman's woke now for the first time, actually.
I'm sorry. If you watch this movie and you go, oh, so they made Superman woke, I'm like,
you're the bad guy.
It's you're genuinely an evil person.
Yeah. The
that
movie
he's
is
just a person who likes human life and life in
who
general.
Thinks war shouldn't happen regardless of any circumstances.
Yeah.
You might be the bad guy. Yeah, literally, all he says is this was bad. People were going to die. Like, he gets so frustrated about it. That's all he said.
Yeah.
There's nothing about politics. Like, the most political they get in terms of specificity is that, Jarhanpur historically has not been our ally. And he's like, they've changed. Not that matters to him, but he's just like, hey, wait, whoa. Yeah. Like, of course, this side is saying this thing. It's very overt. It's very broad. It's not offering a solution other than stop killing each other.
Yeah.
I have people who have walked out of this movie and did not get it. They did not understand that this was, I'm just going to say, are you fine that we just say it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty talked about a lot. And see, this is the funny thing is, it's not even 100% accurate that it's Israel and Palestine. I feel like if you think it's Israel and Palestine and that makes you mad that it's making Israel look like the bad guy, it's like then you realize that's the that they're. I
know. Like it is Israel Palestine metaphorically speaking, but again, they never say it. So I've heard some like discussions and online things of people being like, oh, we're boycotting this movie because of how it portrays Israel. And everyone's like, they never said Israel, friend. They never did.
And again,
you're reading it that way.
The fact that you are reading it that way says a lot.
Much like the message from Jor-El. Dude, this is the first big blockbuster that's tackled this.
Yeah.
And I kind of need more to start doing. It's crazy that this happened.
Yeah.
That in a Superman movie, this as a huge part of the movie made this a thing.
They have been, look, on the press tour, they have been very vocal about like, this isn't that, but also.
I have not heard anyone say it's not that.
Oh, James Gunn has in interviews said like, it's not really supposed to be that, like.
But it is. You know what I mean?
I don't know how you could.
Look, again, he wrote this movie years back before a lot of these things in the modern era escalated to this point.
Yeah.
Does not mean it's not that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
this fight is nearly a century old at this point. So it's like that whether the strikes from a few years ago that really kind of kicked it off in the way that we're seeing currently. This has been a constant struggle for nearly a century at this point.
But it even feels like it has stand-ins for real people. You know what I mean? Like I find it hard to believe that it's not. And look, this is very much a movie about immigrants. Like, and people who are like, "That's woke." It's like, did you not get the metaphor of Superman since the beginning of Superman? Yeah. Like, just because this movie actually tackles that pretty head on, does not mean that this has not always been what this is about. Like, I don't understand. Baffling to me the level of like, either I will put on my blindfold and not see these things, or how dare they do this? You know you're the bad guy then. If you're getting upset about it, they never specifically say it. You are the bad guy.
Yeah.
Crazy to me.
Yeah. Just to say this out loud, we in no way do we feel anything negative toward anybody of the Jewish faith.
Of course. Yes. Thank you.
I love and support all of the everyday people who live in both Israel and Palestine. I don't support what Israel, the government of Israel, what Netanyahu, I denounce those things. But I don't think anything bad or wrong should happen to the everyday normal people living inside of Israel or Palestine. It is not their fault. It is not their problem. That being said,
to go even a step further, like we do not fully understand this conflict. We don't all of the minutia of it. We are not versed enough to like get into that discussion.
Yeah.
All we are saying is that like
People
the
are
conflict. People are going to die.
Yeah,
and we're not okay with that. That is bad. Hard stop.
Yes.
You can all of the nuance and all the things you can say in one way or another. Stop killing each other. Both sides.
Yeah.
Don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like we need it. That's all we're saying. In this movie, that's what this movie is saying.
Yes.
That's what this movie is tackling.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem with that message, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean?
Right.
Again, it's I don't know how to teach you empathy.
Yeah.
Superman can try, but if he can't do it, I sure can't do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on briefly before we jump into our B segment. Action. We didn't really talk about the action in this movie. How did that work for you?
Oh, the fucking bubble, Mr. Terrific shit ruled fucking
awesome.
hard. The Justice Gang and Superman against the kaiju.
The kaiju was great.
Was great.
Yeah.
The big fight scene at the end where Superman's fighting the Lex Spots or whatever.
The Raptors.
Yeah, that left me a tiny bit cold.
I just like that it. For me, that reads as they're like the Raptors have arrived, and the look Lex gives them's like that's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
But it gives me that moment of like kill him, and he's like good luck with that, and he flips up and I just loved that it showed that like no, Superman's gonna be Superman right now. Like let him the spinning with the lasers and then to that like look. It worked for me. The fight with Ultraman specifically is really pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How big and how spinny it is. Like he's flipping him around and Lex is calling out the moves is really cool. And Superman has to outthink him, and like that's such a great thematic moment and character
fucking
moment.
Crypto.
And Crypto, baby. Yeah, no, Crypto, get the toy. Huh? Just like so good. Those shots, I want to talk about those shots. The three of the best shots in any comic book movie ever. We're just gonna start in order they appear. After the car drives away and she looks in her rearview mirror when the buildings are collapsing and the dust all flies past and you just see him floating there. Unbelievable iconography for that character. That is a top tier Superman shot. Period. Top 10 comic book movie shots ever. I think.
Yeah.
The other one is. It's after he's like flung Ultraman around before their final conflict and he throws him. I think it's right before the Raptors show up, but it's that shot where it's low and it kind of swoops up and he like poses and his cape's blowing and he's like that. The skyline's behind him. That shot is like an Alex Ross drawing. Alex Ross, a super famous comic book artist. He does mostly covers, but he's done quite a bit of other work. One of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
It looks like Alex Ross drew Superman. Like it's crazy. That shot is gorgeous to me. It's so heroic. The light, how it all works. Great shot. Then the other one is Superman and Lois spinning as they kiss, like floating, like unbelievably romantic and beautiful and well composed. And
Rachel Brosnahan, love. This is a section for Rachel Brosnahan. Perfectly cast.
She's so good.
She's so goddamn good. She's so gorgeous. I love her so much.
Yeah, she says so much with the look. She's also hysterical in this movie.
Yeah.
There's that moment where she's like, "How do you think this is going?" And Clark's like, "How do I think this is going? I think I'm doing well." And there's this pause where she gives him just this like, and she clicks the button and goes, it hits him harder. You know what I mean? Like she has such good timing. She plays a like, I'm sure the journalism, as they said, is not right, but she plays somebody with
that stuff
with the
like,
journalist attitude at least. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing: like, are they complaining about that scene?
It's that's part of it's the fact that like when we're talking about like journalistic ethics. Yeah. Him interviewing himself, bad.
That's always been the thing, though, you know?
Right. Her interviewing him, bad.
Yeah.
Them releasing all of the Lex Luthor stuff at the end with, like, no... with no addition, like not reaching out to anyone for comment at any point, like things like that, like where it's just like there are actual steps that need to be taken beyond just like finding information and posting it.
I would argue that point, Lex is tearing the city in half. I think at that point they're a little allowed to play outside the wire here.
I agree. It's like anyway. Like all of those like interview things. It's like that's how they like.
It's the trope of the genre, you know what I mean? Like Clark has always interviewed Superman, Lois has always interviewed Superman. It's always been a part of this.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I think everybody in this movie is like pretty damn well cast, man. Like,
I don't
they did
know
a
who.
good job.
There's not a single person I think is miscast in any way, shape,
I know
or form.
it's great, and the thing that I like about the Daily Planet, I should have mentioned earlier, but I like that they don't have a ton to do. Most of them don't have like almost anything to do other than fill out the world, have a personality. Because you know what they could have had Lois talking to? Just some intern. You know what I mean? Like when she's like, "Who's that? How about that guy you're dating? How's that?" And she's like, "I don't know. He's weird." They could have just had it be some random intern that she's talking to. No, it's Kat Grant. She has a specific job. She uses these things. They're like this. She has a style. Like all of this implied history again is what I love about this movie. I think that's great. Anyway, any other things we haven't touched on? I'm sure there's a million. I love this movie so much.
Movie shreds. If you don't
Movie
like
shreds,
it,
man.
If you don't like this movie, look, if it's not your favorite movie of all time, that's fine. But if you don't like this movie, or you're like, nah, you're the dumbest person on the planet. I have nothing for you but to deride your stupidity.
Truly, and yes, this movie's great. If it doesn't make you feel like you've been hugged, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
it's awesome. I love this thing. B segment.
Yeah, B segment.
Sick.
There have been many Superman projects in the past, and each of those movies have received reviews, both positive and negative.
Okay.
So today we are going to be playing the review game, and this time we're calling it Super Reviews. So I'm going to give you reviews from super projects, and you're going to have to guess what movie they're from.
Are
you ready?
Wait. I'm super ready, dude.
Let's kick it off. In the end, children of all ages will be delighted that Superman is back on the job defending truth, justice, in the American way against all comers. And he's in love with Lois Lane, too. Who could ask for anything more of any fairy tale?
Superman Returns, by any chance?
Oh. No, it is not Superman Returns.
Oh, okay.
The problem is that the film is too unwieldy to maintain any consistency of tone. Whenever the relationships start to develop, the film has to break away for a stunt, leaving you feeling depressed and depleted.
Man of Steel?
No.
Damn.
One more guess.
Let me just clarify. Are these all movies specifically?
These are all movies.
Okay. Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut?
It is Superman 2.
Okay.
I don't know if this is for the Richard Donner cut or if this is just Superman 2. I'm pretty sure these are all theatrical reviews from when the movie released. So I think if these are not the ultimate cuts or anything like that of any of these movies.
Sick. So Black Adam.
Fuck. I was supposed to change the name. Fuck. I'm so mad.
Sorry.
Shit. I
That's
added
awesome.
that one. I worked on this last night. I thought about that. I was like, oh shit, Superman shows up in Black Adam. I should add Black Adam in there just to screw him up.
You probably would have gotten me on it too.
Totally
I bet you
would have gotten
anything.
you.
Yeah, I would have not.
I'm so mad. Arguably the most satisfying, complex, and entertaining feature film ever created featuring the superhero.
Just out of pure, please tell me that this is the opinion on this one. Superman the movie.
Here's the main problem. It is a solid movie, but a terrible Superman movie.
Man of Steel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was I had hope on that first one, but I figured.
The most satisfying, complex, and entertaining feature film ever. Some of these takes are crazy.
Look, here's the thing. Man of Steel's a really fun movie that has a pretty good action in it. But it's not it's not any of those things.
It has its ups. It has its downs. It is far from a perfect movie.
Yeah.
This is a comic book movie, and it feels just like a comic or a comic book. Visually, verbally, in its flat but flighty caricatures and the crazy, out of whack inventiveness of its storyline. Sorry, I butchered.
Superman 2025?
No.
Oh.
It has a disjointed script that manages to transform the Man of Steel into first-class dope. It misuses a strong performer in a way that any 12-year-old movie fan could have predicted would leave an audience cold.
Oh, Superman 3?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Good guess.
That's a weird movie.
And I know as much. Sadly, there's almost zero magic in this Superman. Its special effects are more overbearing than special. The plot is all problem solving and no poetry.
Superman Returns.
With this film, the filmmaker took on the formidable task of laying the foundation for a whole world. He not only pulled it off, he made it one that feels worth visiting, or if you're a superpowered visitor from another planet, risking everything to save. I'm honestly not sure which one this one is. I can't remember.
Is it Superman, the first one?
It's 2025 Superman.
Go back to that first review. Okay.
Insane.
Okay.
Insane.
You see why I didn't get it, though?
Yeah. The problem-solving part, I can at least, like, wrap my head around how they'd get to that, but everything else is so wrong, it's not even funny.
But that is the plot and the structure of a movie where the hero has to keep taking hits and okay, yeah. Continue. Moving on.
No, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
While this film is congested in its first two acts, it compels through masterful action sequences and a brilliant new take on the Caped Crusader.
This one has to be Returns, right?
There was a time when superhero movies were fun, escapist entertainment, but now our caped and cowled heroes are as dark and troubled as a reject from a Kafka novel, which, in this case, makes for a rather loud but dreary night at the movies.
BVS, Batman vs Superman? Yeah.
It is indeed. It is indeed. I was like, I struggled to whether or not I wanted to keep the cowled part in there to see if you'd still get it, but yes, that is BVS. This was a third review that I had to add in here because I thought it was nuts. With a well-painted influence from Man of Steel's darkened hues and dramatic imaging, Batman v Superman is a very naturalistic story with a somber script. Naturalistic story? This person should never be able to write or
not great. That's okay.
Crazy. Reliant on a heavy formula of repetition and camp that's more obnoxious than cute.
Quest for Peace?
No.
Superman 4.
Its protagonist, a good-natured, wholesome, devoid of moral flaws, and acutely civic conscious, but good intentions are not enough, and this shack attack is too broad and episodic to attract anything other than the most undemanding crowd.
Is this by any chance a Justice League?
No. It's Steel, baby.
Oh, okay.
It is the DC Universe Shaq-led Steel
When you said
movie.
Shack Attack, I was like, wait, what?
I was like, look, you are never going to get it unless I left something in there that mentioned Shaq. But yeah, but fucking Steel, baby. I think this is the last one. What was fun in the comic books, what is still fun in the comic books years later, is also fun in the movie. The fun is scaled up, to be sure. The fun is spectacular, but it is never snide, never mocking.
Superman, the movie. God damn it.
The film, I think you're right. The film is a delightful mess, good performances, sloppy editing, cheap non-flying special effects, funny dialogue. In sum, Superman is the kind of picture critics tear apart, but still say, you ought to see it.
Please, Superman, yeah.
Superman the movie.
There you go.
I am not going to leave the call. I'm going to stop the presentation. Okay.
We did it.
I did it, boys. I genuinely forgot there was a fourth Superman and completely forgot about Superman Returns.
Yeah, Quest for Peace, man.
I remembered Black Adam and I remembered Steel before I remembered Superman 4 and Superman Returns.
That's really funny. Superman.
I'm so mad I left fucking Black Adam's name in there.
I know. That it would have gotten me probably. I would have been like, I don't fucking know.
C segment. You had
short C segment. The Odyssey.
Can I tell you my experience of what happened first?
Yes, please do.
So, we are literally, I saw a post like 3 days ago that we are 1 year away from the release of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. And I'm very excited. Every actor in Hollywood is in this movie. I'm very excited. And so I was scrolling on Instagram while I was at work, and I saw a post that said tickets are on sale for the 70 millimeter IMAX screening for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. And I said, what? I looked it up and I went to the link, and what was it? It was sold out, baby, a year in advance. Fucking cool, dude. I was so happy and so excited. Okay, here's the weird part. The tickets that were on sale, there are 4 days, and there is one show per day. That is not what will happen. There will be more shows than that.
These 70 millimeter ones run from like 8 in the morning all the way through like 11, 12 at night.
One showing per day at the local DFW theater. So what the fuck went on sale?
Maybe this is like a water testing thing. They just wanted to do like a beta for it just to see, and then the rest of the tickets will release as they.
But this is no notice. Nobody knew it was coming. They just released tickets and said, good luck.
Well, I knew a couple days in advance.
I didn't hear a single fucking word about it.
Yeah, I was aware it was going to happen like 2 days before the date.
Oh, I did not know that. You should have told me, you son of a gun.
Well, no, I think this is stupid and bad. Like, this is a terrible thing because you know what's already happened? People are selling them online for $300.
Yeah.
Look, there are two outcomes to this type of release, like ticket buying for movies. One outcome, and it won't be this because it's Hollywood and it's the studio system, but the positive outcome is they go, oh, look at the ravenous demand for the 70 millimeter format. Let's make more of these screens around the world so there's not only like 10 or 11 anywhere.
Yeah.
Let's make it more accessible. They're clearly selling well enough that we could. That's not going to happen. What's going to happen is they're going to start doing this for more movies, and scalping is going to become a ridiculous problem. It's going to be nearly impossible to go see these movies in these formats.
The thing that is weird is Oppenheimer. Look, every 70 millimeter IMAX screening that has been available that I was aware of for a major feature film, I have been able to find tickets relatively. Like, look, I wasn't like first in line to get tickets for Oppenheimer. I got tickets a day after they went on sale, or like several hours, and I was still able to get opening weekend a decent, like it was like late, I'm pretty sure it was like super late on like the Saturday or something, but like I was able to get tickets the opening weekend. The fact that the thing that's super weird about this is they're doing it at all this far ahead of time, because the last times they did this, it was a couple months ahead of time, when they usually do pre-sale tickets anyways. But it's the fact that they did it a year out.
Yep.
So I would have unless I like had a fucking notification for it.
Yeah, but Doug, any number of things could happen in the next year. Yeah. Like there could be another strike and they can't finish the movie. Like,
yes.
Like some people who bought those tickets, not to be morbid, some people who bought those tickets will die in that period of time.
Yes.
Like,
it was incredibly weird. Like, what a weird...
This is so stupid that the seats,
the tickets that they sold were one screening for 4 days.
I wonder if that's everywhere, like not just the one in DFW. I wonder if it's like all of these theaters.
There are
like
a bunch of them that are completely sold out. So I genuinely think it's a lot of them. Not ever when I checked on Thursday or whatever when they went on sale, not everything was sold out, but a lot of the screens in the US were sold out already.
So, and it's just the 70 millimeter format, right? Like it's not the rest of it. It's just that.
It's just the 70 millimeter IMAX. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting thing to point out, that I think that's dumb. I think it's really stupid to do this, unless it just is a testing thing for the studios to go, okay, we need to invest more in this, which is not what it's going to be, but it should be, because the last couple of movies and more movies are starting to do this. I mean, Sinners, Dune 3, is going to be the second movie shot entirely on IMAX right after the Odyssey. Yeah. So it's like, hopefully they realize, like, no, this format is, there's a desire for it, so they build more of them, but I just don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know if it's the screen. I think it's the projector.
It is the projector, but the screen, that like kind of more dome thing, is also, I think, partly, like they can't just show that at any old IMAX screen, because not all IMAX screens are true IMAX. Yeah. So they have to build more of those and have more projectors. Like,
I genuinely think the thing that is tough about that though is the projector. I think it's easier to build to extend screens than it is those. Because like that's the thing is like they only have so many of the projectionists available too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely think it's the projector more than it is the actual
just-
screen size.
I know, but I'm not saying expand this to 200 across the world.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
There's 11.
I
You could
completely
do
agree.
20 to 30 to 50 and still
In
sell
the
that
US,
out.
like-
in the US, so easily.
Not even across the world.
Like you could
do
put
30
one
in the
or
US,
two. Yeah, you could put one in every major market at the very least, one or two in every major market, and they
Yeah.
would sell great. I'm not saying you need to put one in like Kansas somewhere, but put one in
But
Kansas
also you can
somewhere.
put one in
like-
Kansas somewhere. Like
yeah. Anyway, I don't have like a hot take on this other than I think like those are the two outcomes, and
ridiculous.
I don't think, it's insane.
I was so mad.
I really don't want this to be the norm. Because
Yeah,
I will
it
start buying
can't
them a
be.
year in advance because I'm a terrible idiot.
It can't be. It genuinely can't be.
Anyway, that's that. We love Superman. Recommendations? Anything you got?
Yeah, this is super and completely unrelated, but there's a band called Panchico, excuse me. So there's a story here. Strap in. In 2016, a dude in England goes to like a thrift store and he finds a CD on a shelf. And the cover's cool. It's by a band called Pachinko that he's never heard of. He takes it home and he listens to it, and it's got some like data rot, so it sounds kind of funky, but he absolutely loves the band. It's like, oh, this is really, really cool. There's like 5 or 6 songs on it. It's like an EP. So he looks up the band and he can find literally nothing about them, nothing at all. And so he posts about it online. He uploads the music and he said, does anybody know anything about this band? And nobody knows anything about them. Nobody can figure it out. And they spend 4 years trying to find the band members, trying to find the group involved. And they find, in 2020, they find one of the band members, I think it might be the singer, on Facebook and said, hey, we found your music and we love it. The song, that album was originally released in the year 2000. It was the only piece of music they actually released, and it was an EP that they released, and it went nowhere. Nobody listened to it, so they all kind of just packed their shit up and moved on with their lives. So in the year 2000, they decide or 2001, I think is when they stopped like really performing and doing it. And then 20 years later, they get a random message from a dude online saying, hey, there's a huge cult following for your music. Please come and talk to us about it. And so they release a bunch of old demos from the time. They release a remastered version of the original EP that doesn't have the data rot anymore. And they do a couple of tours. They do a tour in England. They do a tour across the US. And then in 2023, they release their first studio album. And then in 2025, they release a second album. In 2021, I was aware of them and I had listened to the remastered version and the data rot version of that first EP. And I was like, oh, this is so good. It's very Radiohead inspired. It's very like indie, electronic, like alternative. It's very good, and I highly recommend it. The thing that I want to suggest though is their newest album, the one they released this year, back in April, called Ginkgo, is really, really good. Spencer, you specifically, I think would rather enjoy Ginkgo. I think you'd appreciate Heavy Metal's their first album. I think you'd appreciate heavy metal, but Ginkgo in specific, I think you'd really, really like, and it's really good. Check out.
I have it pulled up now.
Yeah.
Here it is.
I would recommend listening to heavy metal, listening to the remastered, because they have the remastered version as well as the original rot, like the data rot files on there too.
2000.
This
one
or
or
death metal. Did I say heavy metal? Death metal.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of another record that released
sick,
recently.
dude. Yeah, I'm this based on the aesthetics. This looks sick as hell. Like,
yeah. So Panchico, check them out. Get into it. Good shit. And what a cool story! Like
that's
these people
amazing. That's so inspiring. Like,
yeah, they released music in 2001 that nobody cared about, and then 20 years later, they have a cult following, and now they're professional musicians. Like, They had lives. They had families. Like,
there's a lesson there.
Yeah, man.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Isn't that cool?
That's a very cool story.
So yeah, go get into Pancheek. Oh, and I've also been rewatching a bunch of Folding Ideas on YouTube. That he is like one of the best YouTube video essayists with a particular knack for describing and deconstructing conspiracy theorist groups and just general weird internet cults and stuff. I highly recommend it.
Good shit, man. I am going to listen to that band for sure because that seems super cool.
Yep.
My recommendation, I'm going to recommend some comic books. If you liked Superman and you kind of want to know what the rest of the DC universe is going to feel like, not what the plot is going to be, not what characters are going to use, but what it's likely to feel like as a structure, I super recommend Darwin Cook's The New Frontier. This is a very nice edition of it. It's very cool. It's got some bonus stuff in it, some scripts and all that, but this is a very good comic. It's very, the art is absolutely stunningly incredible. But it's big and it's expansive and it has characters that show up in the smallest possible ways who have no real effect on the plot, but they're in it. Really good book. I think this is a big template for what they're going to do. The Gods and Monsters, which is the first chapter of the DCU, and they use it in that text call at the beginning. That comes from this. That's where this that came from. If you want to prepare for what is next in the DC universe, watch Peacemaker season 1. But for the next movie, read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This comic, absolutely incredible. I cannot recommend this enough. It is genuinely one of my favorite comic books of all time. Some of the best art, some of the best stories. It's great. The next, the Supergirl movie is a direct adaptation of this. It is so good. I'm so excited about what they're going to do. I can't wait to find out. Plus, this does not have Jason Momoa as Lobo in it, but Jason Momoa is playing Lobo in that. And Lobo's a really cool, like, not really cult comic character, but like not a household name DC character. Anyway, that's my recommendation. Watch Peacemaker, read New Frontier, read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Just get into comics because they're really cool and fun. I like them a lot.
And random bands from 2001.
And random bands from 2001 like, who made a resurgence in the 2020s.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Go see Superman. Genuinely tell everyone you know to go see Superman. This movie really is, it feels special, feels really, really cool and important. And if they're going to keep making superhero movies like this, I want them to be more like this.
Yeah.
Go check out this cool band, read some cool comics, watch Superman 3 more times, or I don't know. Don't live your life.